Yeah, it's live now. Hi. Technology. Yeah, but they use up quite a lot of data on your phone. It uses up on average 1 gig per hour. Oh. So this is video quality.
If you are part of the LGBT community, what are the fundamental values that they resonate with? We believe that LGBT community resonates with more of a libertarian value or a more humanistic values or more socialistic values, and these are the values are the most principal values that they uphold within themselves. And these are the fundamentals that are crucial to break from the shackles of hegemonic ideologies, of conservative norms that has been bestowed upon them for generations and generations. And these hegemonic values are the one that denies these people freedom, denies this freedom, the form of expression, the form of expressing themselves. So these are the things that should be destroyed. And once you have cults of personalities like Milo and Caitlyn Jenner coming up and themselves as the LGBT community, but also resonate with conservative values, we think that it is nonsensical, and we should condemn these people. As I'll explain in my substantive, which is the first one, it destroys the legitimacy of the LGBT cause, and the second one, it destroys the value, the philosophical value of collectivism. And the third one that I would say that distinguishes ourselves as a closing government as these kind of conservative values imposed onto the LGBT community will cause a sense of alienation and will stop a sense of anomie among the LGBT community. And I'll go to my first point. Okay, why does it destroy the legitimacy of the LGBT community cause? Okay, so first of all, when you have Milo and Caitlyn Jenner coming up as LGBT, and then but also resonate with conservative values, and so this gives false misinterpretation of the community. So why is it important that we uphold the values and not have misinterpretation? So because people will be quick to judge about what the LGBT community is, which is about love, which is about freedom. And so while these people resonate with conservative values, and these people with the masses will think that, okay, so these people is what the LGBT community represents, and that is bad, and we do not want that, because the LGBT, what it diminishes is the core principles of what the LGBT community upholds, and this gives this gives a false perception and all that, and also what it does is it also like it doesn't actually give protection to the people. Okay, and I wanted to say that even at their best, we say that okay, side opposition has come out boldly and say these people have the freedom of expression. They have the right to these people, Milo and Caitlyn, have the right to give out their statements, give out their values, give out their critique on certain things onto the mass media. Okay, we give you that, but it doesn't give you the moral right to impose these values onto this LGBT community, because what these values are basically liberal values, and you see conservative values are important. So it doesn't give you the moral right for you to shove these things, for you to shove these conservative values onto these people, because conservative values are condemn. Conservative value condemn the LGBT community. They condemn non-heterosexual relationships. So how is it justified when you say that they have okay, we give the right, but it's not justified when you say that they have to follow these values. We believe in our paradigm that you will not, when you choose not to talk about a certain thing, What it will cause is it doesn't cause a backlash onto the community and onto the agenda. So what are the backlashes I'm talking about? The backlashes might be it'll spark an increase of hate crime. And recently we have seen a spark of hate crime, and yeah, and because of this, it'll spark a hate crime onto other people. And how is this thing good for you? Okay, going on to the second point, is it destroys the sense of collectivism. Collectivism is when you have a whole group of people coming up for a common cause, and these people like Milo and Kelly Jenner come out as individuals. And why I say that individuals are bad? Individuals come out with just your common, most of the time stupid values that they think is right and uphold, and we think that it's not. We think that it's not justified when you have individuals coming like this, coming up to the main stage and giving stupid rhetorics like this. We believe that in the sense of collectivism, where we have a collective idea, where these people, if let's say this like people like Kelly Jenner and all these kind of people, that these people come up. If these people come up, these people come up and talk with other communities, which I doubt they do. They talk with other people, come up with a bold statement. Then we say yes. Then your statements are legitimized. But right now, what they are doing is just coming up with these bold statements, claiming that they are from the LGBT community and claiming that these should be their values, that should be the fundamental values. And we think that is totally nonsensical. And the third one, which distinguishes ourselves from opening government, which is these conservative values, impose a sense of alienation. And allow me, why do I say this? Side opposition will come out and tell you that more people will come out. More people will come out from this from the closet. More people, because we have this God coming up to us and saying that this representation, there's representation for us. But we say, what kind of nonsense rhetoric that you have to come up from side opposition? Because these guys are having conservative values which condemn people. So I don't see any correlation of how a conservative, a mainly staunch conservative, an outright person coming out and saying stupid stuff, like saying, we hate gays, we hate things like that, and then saying that there'll be more people coming out. I just don't see the bloody correlation and knowledge. So I think it's totally nonsense from coming out from side opposition. And why do I say that it'll have a sense of alienation? So these individuals, right? They'll have confusion. They'll have confusion among people. So they have lack of individuality. And yeah, with all these three reasons that I proposed, we are proud to we are trying to propose. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Member Government. I'd like to invite Member of Opposition. Just a second. Here you go.
Who do you think that they want to raise awareness to? Do you think it's just going to raise awareness to the LGBT community? No, it's to the society itself. Yeah. As why they want to raise community, as what closing government has been saying, LGBT community has been condemned from years to years. As this is a time that where are they finding people stand up as prominent LGBT individuals to voice up for the community itself. Yes, they might have different ideology than as was the majority LGBT community is saying, but who's gonna care about the minority? Just because they have different ideology and you're not gonna accept them, they are the LGBT individual itself. They might not have the same ideology, but they are still the LGBT community itself. As the reason why they want to raise, they come out and by saying this as. In fact, we agree that it might hurt the LGBT community, but in fact, that's how it attracts the attention to us to debate about it, and that's why debate ours here is today. No, thank you. Okay. As how we distinguish ourselves is that we agree that it might cause harm, but we are willing to accept that it's a goal for in the long run, which we're able to recognize the respect of in the society itself, in not just the LGBT community, but raise the awareness of all the society. As our burden today is not to condemn the prominent, but in fact, we should support them. Why? Because they might have social justice for the LGBT community that allow their rights to be given through a proper channel. No, thank you. Proper channel where equality is not often given to the LGBT society, community itself. As society should understand through the individual who give voice out their truth as the LGBT community, as they will understand that this is to be a unjust law that deny equal rights to couple who love. And these issues, and move on. As this instance go where awareness for LGBT rights are increasing rapidly, we want people who have gone through the struggles to be put into spotlight. As I believe, since they are the LGBT, they will go through different kind of emotions and feelings, where they can raise awareness of that. As we can see that, and improve all kind of aspects. And by them saying so, by them saying so, it can actually increase the awareness where adoption rate itself can be increased, as most adoption agencies discriminate against gay, but through this awareness, they will realize that they should give advantage to them where many agencies will only release children to the married couples, rejecting stable and loving homosexual parents. And by giving such talk, it tells them that it can where you force the agency to put some respect and give them the right as a homosexual to do so. And in current conservative world, we want to remove the stigma of associated with LGBT by allowing them this opportunity we are. But before I going in, yes, if you want.
So do you think that conservative values will actually benefit the progression of society itself?
True. As we are in the world that we are being conservative, as that is why we want to remove that stigma through it. And in this current status quo, there are various stigma that LGBT community are put into, and by letting them in, and this actually allows the prominent to be in a spotlight where they might, through the conservative movement, there will be allow them to eliminate the stigma from the society itself.
So, if these individuals are actively hurting your own community and your own progress, why is it you shouldn't condemn them? Why is it you shouldn't distance yourself from them?
As you were saying, if they are continuously hurting the community, but in fact, how many times have they hurt the community? It's just once, and that's one time it raised the awareness for everyone to look into these cases. As some people might think of to condemn it, but some people they will learn through through the ideology they will look into and what different ideology into, and why the LGBT community should condemn them when they are the one who raised the voice. But instead, if no one stand up to raise the voice, who will know about the case? Who are gonna know about it if no one gonna stand up to talk about it at the first point? Okay, and therefore, instead of condemning someone who actually come up to raise awareness or raise a voice to the society, community in a society, why should we condemn them when they have different ideology, but we should support them in a way that we should be? That I would probably raise my first one.
Right, thank you, member of opposition. We'd like to invite last week for the government bench, government whip.
Members of the floor,
Imagine that you join a community, a church community, and one day you speak out to the community that you want to be gay. The same concept here, when you join a LGBT community and you voice out a value that is against the values that they instill in the LGBT itself. As what we already mentioned to you, in LGBT itself, we instill the value of liberalism, humanitarian, and basically we are against conservative. And the reason why we are against conservative in the first place, because these are the people that condemn us in the first place. These are the people that oppress us in the first place. So that's why we want to distance ourselves from this kind of people. So members of the floor, how do I enter this debate? First of all, I'll clarify our team's case. Second, I'll give rebuttals from government side. Third, give pleasures in this debate. First of all, I'd like to clarify that we already state to you that LGBT, when there's a person that's voicing out their opinion that is against the value instilled in the LGBT community itself, it destroys the legitimacy of that particular community. When this happens, basically, people will lose trust in the community itself. Like imagine yourself and an LGBT community. Imagine that the LGBT community is a place for you to voice out your opinion, the one that you rely on compared to the society itself. It's hard for them to fit in the society itself. But when they lose trust in the community itself, they will, when they mention that they would more likely to expose themselves to be out of the society, they are wrong, because it is harder for them when they have confusion of who will represent them well. And why they are confusion is that in the LGBT itself, you want liberalism. And what if that public figures that you look up to is talking about something that is against LGBT ideology itself? So moving on with when we talk about how with sense of alienation, basically there's a clear misconception from their side, because the way they portray us is that they think that we don't want representation. That is a total lie. We want a correct representation. We are not saying that we don't want a voice for our community. We want a voice that speaks the correct ideology of our community. That is not the value that is not instilled in the LGBT community itself. No, thank you. Now moving on with my rebuttals. The opening government, he said that he said that the LGBT will be able to stand up itself and be able to have their voice be listened to the society itself. The problem with today's case is that under two level analysis. First of all, when there's a confusion, people lose trust in the community. That is a platform for them to express themselves. When this happens, people will tend to not opt out, and the community itself that is being established for a long time will fail in the future. On the second level analysis, the LGBT community is not ready. Even in today's community, in the status quo, people hardly recognize LGBT as a contributing members in the society. LGBT is seen as a sin. So basically, what happened today is that when you give these people pointing out the ideology that is against LGBT's ideology, so there will be a confusion and people will lose trust in them. Yes.
How are you concerned the minority in the community who have the same ideology as prominent LGBT individuals?
The problem with
how are you concerned?
Okay, the problem with this is that you misconcept us that we don't want representation. We want a correct representation. I stress, we want a correct representation. The problem with this debate is that a member of the community is expressing the ideology that is against what the community itself wants, liberalism and humanitarian. When you opt for conservative, that is against LGBT ideology. These are the people that are hurting us in the first place. That's why we should distance ourselves from them, because we are not ready to face such discrimination in the first place. Now moving on to second about this way, he talk about how they want to remove stigma. The problem with that today is that when you are portraying this LGBT as more liberal to accepting other people inside the community with different ideology, they are seen as weak, as inconsistent. So people will, would you trust someone that is always inconsistent in a way that they always, sometimes they say we should go for liberal, sometimes we should go for conservative. Whereas there's no inconsistency in that particular community. that organization is going to fall apart. So that is the responsibility of the community itself to ensure that the community will be able to progress in a way the ideology that they have. Thank you. Moving on with my flashes. The first flash is that should we let individuals speak for the community? From the opposition side, they said they want these people to speak despite the wrong different ideology because they want to gain backup, so that they want approval. But the problem is that when you do this thing, that the problem lies within the community itself, because the community will lose trust among themselves in the community. And how will this LGBT be represented in the future later when the community is already falling apart before the goal is achieved in the first place? No, thank you. So we from the government side, we agree that we want representation, but we will condemn people that is representing us in a way with a different ideology, because we think that we should distance ourselves from people that are oppressing us, the people that are hurting us in the first place. It is not right to support ideology that might hurt the community itself. On the second level, the second class should be how will LGBT society react? Well, basically from our side, we think that the LGBT community will not progress since there is internal conflict in the community itself now, since with the LGBT instilled, the policy instilled by the opposition side. And basically, they won't cooperate when they don't have trust. The platform that they used to look up to is now corrupted with the other ideology that is not being promoted by the LGBT community itself. So what have I told you today is that we should go for, we should condemn these people to make sure that the community in the society, the LGBT community itself, be able to hold their status so that they won't be corrupted in the first place before they achieve the goal. To make sure that these people are represented correctly so that there's no misconception happening in the first place. So with that, I'm proud to propose.
Right, thank you, Government Whip. Now for the last speaker for the closing half, the opposition bench, half my
So today the whole debate has been about how the conservative values have been against the LGBTQ community, and why we as opposition believe that this is a bullet we are willing to bite. This is a bullet we are willing to bite due to the fact that it allows the LGBTQ community to progress in the long run. And why I say so is due to the fact that publicity, no matter how bad it may be, is still publicity. And we believe that raising awareness may come from many different methods, not only just by saying that, oh, I have views on this, views on that, but even by the fact that you having views or accepting the views of conservative political views, you are still also putting the spotlight on yourself. And therefore, we believe that not only does this put the spotlight on the individual, it also puts the spotlight on the community itself. Yes, it may harm. Yes, we know that it may harm the LGBT community. Yes, but we are willing to bite the bullet. We are willing to say that due to this fact, we are bringing awareness, we are raising awareness and saying that this community exists. What we want in our end goal is to achieve respect and recognition. So, by allowing for these individuals to express themselves, their political views, we allow for them to bring this spotlight towards their community, even though they may be themselves as horrible individuals, but this will bring the spotlight towards their community, and this is why we believe through this, in the long run, we will achieve the goal of gaining respect and recognition. So, through this debate, the opening government has, the main point of the opening government is that you should distance yourself from the LGBTQ wrongful role models representing them, because they are actively harming the community, which is true, which is very true. But we believe that what matters most is that we achieve our long-term run, our goal which is to raise awareness. One, as an LGBTQ community, and if for us, we believe that it's better to progress a peaceful progress rather than a violent standstill where there's nothing progressing and there's nothing progressing. Even a step is counted as a movement towards something, movement towards the cause, movement towards the goal, the agenda that we want. We believe that, well, all in all, that raising awareness is very important. And then,
Sir,
yes,
what is this awareness are you talking about?
awareness of.
Hold on, I'm not done with the question. What is this awareness that you're talking about? Even if you say that this conservative value creating hate on other people is some progression, I don't think so. Please explain.
I think you misunderstand me. What I'm trying to say is it itself. And by having these individuals come up and show themselves, they are able to also bring up spotlight to their own community. So the awareness I'm talking about is the awareness that the community exists, the community are looking for the respect, the recognition. So I think you misunderstood. Yes.
You can always get awareness from individuals who don't openly bash their own communities and support conservative ideals. So why is it that you want these people? Why, and where do you go from there?
Okay, let me just get to your point in my next rebuttal. Okay, so also the closing government was saying that because of they should not be able to represent the LGBTQ community. But we believe that this doesn't give the right to push away the fact that own right to express his values and his political views. So when you say that there is no correlation between conservative values and values upheld by the LGBTQ, are we saying that we have the right to shun an individual of his political views just because of him being an LGBTQ? Isn't that the form of oppression itself? And also, our end goal as closing government is to gain respect and recognition in the long run, to finally be able to be respected. Yes.
How do you get respect if even people don't respect them?
Like I said, like even the closing government said that these are individuals. These individuals, they don't essentially all these individuals represents the whole LGBT community. That's not true, because that they represent the LGBT, even though you're Indian, does not represent the Indian community. So what fairness is that? So
Sir,
conservative values may not resonate with the LGBTQ community, but why isn't this something that LGBTQ himself can take up? I mean, there's many different type of people with different agendas, individuals with different thoughts. So we agree that that conservative values, yes, they may not resonate with the LGBTQ community. Yes, they may be different, but we believe that the individual right is what matters. Is that they also have the right to believe what they want to say. And in the long run, this does not hurt the LGBTQ community as much, because it creates this. In the long run, we still gain respect. We still gain awareness that this community exists. This community, there is these communities, and these people are up. They are up there in the spotlight. When people look into them, they look and they understand that this LGBT community exists, and therefore, I as opposition probably propose.
Right, thank you very much. Give me the first floor, shake hands, in the room.
Next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.